They rose to remember the countless victims of the atrocities committed during the war, ahead of a defiant message delivered by Ukraine's top diplomat.
141 member states took the side of the UN Charter, while 7 took the side of Russia. No additional explanations are required here. The resolution follows the logic of President Zelensky's peace formula. The goal of this 10-point plan is to restore respect for Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity within its internationally recognized borders, in full compliance with the UN Charter that we all have committed to respect and uphold. To make it short, the goal of the plan is to get Russia out of Ukraine and make the world a safer place.
Just as China revealed a 12-point plan that calls for an immediate ceasefire and a return to peace negotiations among a host of measures.
Long-term diplomatic negotiations is the only right way to solve the Ukraine crisis. The international community should promote peace and talks with the highest sense of urgency and work to create enabling factors and platforms for the resumption of negotiation. Bringing parties to the conflict back to the negotiating table is not going to be easy, but it is the first step toward a political solution. Just now, Secretary General Guterres also appealed that we give peace a chance. We call on Russia and Ukraine to resume negotiations without any preconditions. Ukraine is not an arena for fights between major countries. No one should seek to benefit from the conflict at the cost of the Ukrainian people.
Russia's envoy appeared to welcome the Chinese plan, adding that they were willing to negotiate about how the goals of its so-called special military operation could be achieved using peaceful means.
We welcome genuine efforts to have peace, such as, for example, the Chinese proposal. Though the choices here is up to our former Western partners, first and foremost Washington. Obviously, after everything we've discovered about you this year, after limitless and disgusting Russophobia and the attempts to cancel Russia, after supplying the Zelensky regime with weapons which were used to kill women, children, and the elderly in Donbass, after your Ukrainian adventure and trying to create difficulties for us on our borders, our relations will never be the same. We do not believe you, and restoring our trust will be very difficult, if at all possible.
The US said the Security Council had a responsibility to ensure that any peace was just and durable.
No one wants peace more than the Ukrainian people. And the United States has long made clear, even before this war, that we're prepared to engage in any meaningful diplomatic effort to stop Russia's aggression against Ukraine. But history teaches us that it's the nature of peace that matters. For peace to be just, it must uphold the principles at the heart of the UN Charter: sovereignty, territorial integrity, independence. For peace to be durable, it must ensure that Russia can't simply rest, rearm, and relaunch the war in a few months or a few years. Any peace that legitimizes Russia's seizure of land by force will weaken the Charter and send a message to would-be aggressors everywhere that they can invade countries and get away with it.
While the EU foreign policy chief had this to say about the Chinese peace plan.
I wouldn't call it a peace plan, but a position paper. And from my point of view, in order to be credible, China should go also to Kyiv. When the president of Senegal or the president of Indonesia presented proposals, they went both to Moscow and Kyiv. So my advice would be to the Chinese, if they want to be credible and not be considered one-sided, they should go to Kyiv also.
The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres telling the Council that while the guns were currently talking, the path of diplomacy and accountability was the only road to a just and sustainable peace. Sherwin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.